Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your sexy ranch hand co-host Calder and This episode, we're going to be talking about the Scott Porter Heroclix for Huntington's prizing going out. People are starting to get emails regarding the codes for their UPCs, and we're going to do a generic gallery featuring the animal keyword. Mixed in with that, we'll also do a value corner and a hidden gem. This is episode 365. Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy.
So if you're looking for emotional satisfaction, my advice to you is seek professional
Heroclix?
No.
Are you serious? Again? How many people even play this game? Like 100?
Instant deadpan humor.
Over six people think I am funny.
It's a hard day's work. Not that you know anything about that. Which
Absolute fools, it's not.
Witcher nonsense.
I'm gonna make Heroclix like that forever. Are you kidding me?
Hey Google, attack someone.
Let's attack Simeon because he's a jerk.
Wow, wow, wow.
This is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest HeroClix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Joining me, like always, in the studio is the Billion Clicks Bruce. What's going on, Simeon?
Oh, just hanging out with my good buddy Snowflame. We like to kick it on the weekends. He's a pretty chill dude.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I didn't expect that. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, are y'all having a good time? Are y'all hanging out? He can be pretty high energy sometimes,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's a lot more uppers than downers.
Tiger
Snowflame.
blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as multiple other things that are probably very wrong with him. But no.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get his heart checked. All right, well, great, Simeon. We like to start every episode with just dude, that just hit me like a semi truck and lost my train of thinking. With what made us happy
Tell
this
me
week.
about the friend that you were hanging out with. Maybe a man with a purple outfit, big ol' H on his hat.
No. Oh, jeez, yikes, man.
The patrons get it. That's all that matters.
Yep, all 5 of the ones that were there. And if you want to be on these inside jokes and play Bad Samaritan every week on our Patreon and our Discord server, you can do so by joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to support the show, support what we do, all our crazy videos, all our awesome podcasts. And that's not even me saying that. That's other people's words, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to support that and also get entered into monthly giveaways, every dollar you donate every single month is how many entries you get into the monthly giveaway, as well as you'll get things, really cool things. Some tiers are like stickers, and we're about to show off some really awesome sticker designs once I get them printed and everything. We do custom tokens like bystanders and tokens that are represented. So things like the Marquee of Death token, the HPK tuning up the band token, stuff like that. Really cool, as well as just some more generic Dial H for HeroClix action tokens. So you can get all that really cool stuff on Patreon.com. But Simeon, what made you happy this week, my man?
Oh, what made me happy this week was one of my, I'm not going to say old friends, but someone that used to hang out with a lot and moved away, was back in town. And so we went down. Nebraska finally, after I don't remember what our state hit numbers wise, but we lost the mask mandate. So most bars are reopened and everything now. Everything's back to 100% capacity, for better or worse. I mean, it's Omaha, so it's always for worse when it comes to bars. But anyhow, we went out to the bar.
I believe it.
It wasn't too bad of a time. It was a country bar, and I know, Calder, you probably don't have this problem because you don't go out to a lot of country bars, but even if you did, most of them would probably be filled with actual country folk, people who actually, drive truck, ride horse.
In this area? Yeah, I would imagine, yeah.
You're in a fairly rural area. Or at least you have a lot of rural, Omaha for the most part, especially this part of Omaha, is very yuppie territory, and I don't even feel bad about saying that. It just straight up is.
If you're in a rural area, you don't need a bar to be country themed. The patrons that go inside, it'll just naturally be that way,
Yeah. You would it's just a bar. It's just your bar.
It's just
it's
a
not
bar,
a country bar. It's just a bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sit there and I silently, and then after a few drinks, loudly judge all of the patrons pretending to be country folk. And I'm like staring at this guy's boots for a while. And my friend is like, "Can you stop staring at his boots?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to figure out if he bought them like that or if they've actually ever been used, because they don't look like they've ever been used for like any kind of real work." And then, and of course he's got like the cowboy hat inside in the middle of the night in the dark, bar lights only. Maybe they were too bright and he needed the cowboy hat. But I guess this brings me to what made me happy, which was judging people. I just really like judging people. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I just can't get enough of it. I'm like, wear a cowboy hat. You're not even a cowboy. And he wasn't. He wasn't. His dad owns a construction place, so I found that out later.
Dang.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to leave there without knowing for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A little bit of a detective work from Simeon there. That was you saying that what made you happy this week was judging people was the most billion clicks Bruce thing I think you've ever said on this podcast. That was great. That was really good.
I mean, the persona's only half a lie, so
yeah. Well, that's what I say. It's like what The Rock says, when he's The Rock as opposed to Dwayne Johnson. That's just him turned up. I think that's just what, like, our personas are just us turned up, really.
Yeah. Really. Like, me turned up is just a richer, meaner version of me. Me without consequences is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, especially whenever we do this, and I know we're kind of getting on a tangent here, guys, but when we do this next video, I really think the way the character is going is very accurate for Simeon Bruce's life. So
it's definitely very accurate from like what my 2020 was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But what made me happy this week? Last round of graduation parties I got to go to. This one was pretty good. I ended up giving some people a ride to and fro the graduation party, so that was a fun time. But some people there, it was great because I wasn't graduating, right? But like friend was, but I still made out like a bandit because last time I got like bags of pasta. This time I met some friends who had just taken a trip to the hills, and they were like, "Oh, dude, they're a really good group of friends." And they were like, "Dude, we all got you a little souvenir." So one got me this bottle, a little tiny Jack Daniels looking bottle, but it says "I'm the boss" on it. Like it's like it's like something you would give your dad, as like a present.
Sure.
I got a pair of socks. They gave me a Captain America clock, but it has no numbers on it. It doesn't have like the actual thing, so it just has hands that just go around in a circle type of deal. And so like you can look at a clock and be like, yeah, well, there's that section and that section. But the joke is because I'm always late whenever we plan something. I'm either late or I end up not showing up. Listeners don't know this because I've never really interacted like that. But yeah, most of the time when people make like plans, I'm either a little late, 20, 30 minutes, not terrible, or end up having to cancel. So I'm that friend in the friend group, which is great. But yeah, dude, I made out like a bandit on this on this graduation party. I got like all sorts of cool stuff. It was dope. But yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty light week for Heroclix this week. So we're going to discuss really quickly that if you set in UPCs for your case of Wonder Woman 80th anniversary, people are starting to get emails. I haven't gotten any emails yet. Simeon, have you gotten any emails with the code to get your buy it by the case figure?
Let me check real quick, just in case.
Ooh, yeah,
a lone WizKids employee is working at 8:05 on Sunday night and happened to send me an email. So apparently they're sending them to the promotions folder, or they're not, but Gmail is sending them to your promotions folder. So if you didn't see it in your normal mail, it might be in promotions. I would definitely check. Oh, you know what? 2:59 p.m. on Sunday, WizKids, Heroclix buy it by the case instructions. I got it. I did get the email in my promotions folder.
Oh, wow, nice. Okay.
Wow.
Now I'm going to check my
I was
promotions
joking,
folder.
but actually, some WizKids employee was actually doing work on a Sunday of all days on a holiday weekend. Weird, super weird. So I'll go ahead and say my code because by the time
No,
that you hear this, listeners, I'll have
I mean,
already redeemed
yeah.
it. So, no.
He says that, but like I am now putting it in as he speaks, and
Yes.
I'm redeeming it.
Let's see.
Did you actually get it? Like, is this a joke?
Discount code. Yeah,
Like,
so they
oh
have
yeah,
the
okay.
buy it by the case promo listed at 10 grand.
Oh, went up by $5,000. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
You have
Five was just a
to
little too little amount of money for people to jokingly be able to spend on it, I guess.
enter the code and then yeah, so it comes out to $0. And
That's
so
my favorite
you
price
enter
to
the
pay for
code
something.
before you get to it's like during the what is that called? So there's their online store. You hit add to cart. It's the screen after you hit proceed to checkout that does it. But yeah, it looks like it went through. So hopefully, I don't know, everyone gets them now because it sounds. I mean, I'm assuming if they sent that to me at 3 today, that probably by Monday everyone's gonna have theirs. At least everyone who sent them in time to
I
get
just
there.
checked my emails. I've not gotten any code. So I see how it is. To be fair, I sent mine really late. I sent mine like a week ago. About, yeah, 2 or 3, yeah, 2 Fridays ago I sent mine in. So I'm not too worried about whatever.
Yeah. So they didn't say anything about coming close to hitting. Because originally they said, while supplies last. They did make a post saying they were about halfway through all the emails, sending out all the codes, but they didn't say anything about like any number being filled up or like any amount being done or don't
Yeah.
bother sending in. They didn't say anything about that. So hopefully it's still available because I know there's a few people that had just sent them in or are still
Yeah.
planning on sending them in.
I mean, it kind of takes a little bit of time to go through just to cut off the UPC part, count out the 20, fill out the form, put it in an envelope or even a bubble container
Right.
or whatever,
Well,
and
and
then
you
ship it
you have
out,
to count
right?
them
Like
out like 17 times because you
you got
can't
to make
just
sure you get that exact
yeah.
20,
Because
you
if you
know?
send in 19, you made a mistake all of a sudden.
Wasting your time. Yeah. But all right. Yeah, dude, sweet. Second little thing of news is Scott Porter published a picture of some of the prizing going out for the Huntington's event. So he says, hey, everyone, another quick update for the Heroclix or Huntington's event, the shipping of our prizing. We still have not received a good portion of the prizing from WizKids, the Scott Porter bystander tokens, as well as the other items coming direct from WizKids in New Jersey are currently in some of the form of shipping limbo thanks to FedEx, who is being completely unhelpful with where the shipment is. We finally have received some prizing, 20 boxes worth from the Alliance shipping channel. Sorry, Scott, I had to do it to you. However, some of the prizing was missing, and we are awaiting them to arrive as well. We are doing what we can to get the prizing to the people who can compete, and what we currently have, a SAP. Sincerely apologize, and I humbly ask again for your patience and understanding. As I stated before, I believe the expedited nature of our events this year caused some of these delays, and I promise to you this will not happen in the future. If you have any further concerns or questions, please reach out to me directly at scottporterheroclix@gmail.com. That's capital S, capital P, capital H. Thank you all again for making this event an incredible success, and even bigger thank you for your patience and support. Best, Scott Porter. What a guy. What a guy. And it's like you're seeing it and it's like his like living room, like dining room, like area, like table. And you're like, man, he's gonna
Right.
box up and send all this stuff out, dude.
It's to
I feel
like
so bad for Scott.
150 different addresses. Plus, he's got to make sure,
Right?
Tommy Johnson in New York, he won 3 raffle things. He wants 7
Yeah,
Scott Porter
exactly.
Pogs signed. He won, 1 battle royal and got like 15th in silver or whatever. He's got to do like all that work. It's got to be, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of a lot, right? I mean, just keeping track of everything. And I know, like, whatever, other people are sending out other stuff too, so it's not totally like 100%, but it's like 90, like 85, whatever percent on Scott. Just like looking at all these like prizing and stuff, like he's got a lot to send out. He's a busy guy, man. So like he's like pounding out some afternoons, going to the post office. I almost want to see a video series of just Scott Porter packaging up boxes and going to the post office and doing like errands when he leaves his house. I would watch that. I would 100% watch just Scott Porter do that. I don't know why. I would get so much joy out of it. That'd be so funny.
That sounds...
It's just like, wait,
I was
honey,
going to say
who's
interesting,
that?
but it kind of sounds
Okay.
depressing. It's just like,
Oh, and they also want a
slowly, like,
raffle? Yeah. So let's do this one, this one, this one. And it's just like, because, it's almost like, think if you like videotaped and then like time lapse the process of after you open a brick of Heroclix or a case of Heroclix, and then you're just individually popping out each little figure, going through the cards, going like that's a super rare, super rare, super rare, 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 common, 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 uncommon, like whatever, right? When you sort the cards, you sort the figures, and then you're just sort of like, all right, shove all the commons, uncommons there. Here's the rares and super rares. Here's the chases and super rares. Take a picture of those. Then you're like looking on eBay, what are the prices? List them on eBay, list them on Facebook. Like it's like that, Could you imagine watching a time lapse of that? Ugh. Like we do it every time a set comes out, but like man, something about like watching it in a more condensed fashion would just be really funny. Then in reality, it takes you like 3 to 4 hours to do all that.
Yeah. Time lapses are always way more fun to watch because it's like,
oh yeah,
your investment as a viewer is minimal. Meanwhile, like the 12-hour time lapses that people will take of like lights or whatever different, air traffic
dude,
or whatever.
Especially the time lapse where it's like that one dude in that, I don't know what country he's from, but he's like got like a shovel and he's like making professional swimming pools or like whatever, you know what I mean?
No. He's making a professional swimming pool with a shovel? Are you talking about
he's got like a wooden shovel tool thing and he's like making like steps and all this like masterful stuff. But it's like a time lapse.
I
and
think
like,
I know
this
what you're talking about.
days and days and days. Yeah.
Where he like
you know what I mean.
He'll
You
bake
know what I
the
mean.
like the clay and make bricks for different
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like making it out of mud and clay and stuff.
Primitive living, primitive construction, something like that. Something primitive, something.
But it's cool. Like super cool. But anyways, that is the Heroclix for Huntingtons and everything. So moving on to generic gallery.
Why should you care?
Keywords.
Why should you care?
Keywords. Why should you care? Keywords.
Why should you care?
Keywords.
So why should you care?
Keywords.
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
Celebrity, police, past, and scientist, assassin, soldier, spy, tinker, tailor. No, they're not in there, but you get it.
/ hidden gems.
Oh, now I'm playing
/
back to back.
value corner.
Yep, there's the third one.
Yeah, I'm just going to make you do all three. Yep. This week with generic gallery. So if we're going to keep doing generic gallery, and it's been a hot minute since we've done generic gallery. So what that is, we started it before the change to generic keywords, and then this is the first time we've done it. So this is probably the first time we've done it in 2021, honestly. We used to be like, it's all cool doing a named keyword, but here's the fun you can have with a generic keyword. And this is where you're not building really a comic book theme, but just how wacky you can get with like a generic keyword. And originally it was like, hey, it's no theme props, sure, but it's still super fun. But now you get props, so it's fine. The way we're going to start doing it now, though, is one of us is going to build the best 300 modern sort of competitive style team with the keyword, and the other one is going to build like a fun golden age 400 500 point team. All right. Yeah. So Simeon, why don't you start with the figure you chose for hidden gems and then go on with that from the rest of your team. Sound good?
Yeah.
But wait, wow, that looks like a diamond.
The figure that I picked for hidden gems is not indeed on my team, though. So the figure that I picked for hidden gem Because
How curious.
well, to be honest, there's only one modern figure on my team, and it is definitely not a hidden gem. It's a very well-known gem. So that was the only modern one. So wanting to go with another modern character that I could have fit on the team, but just didn't, I went with the Wonder Woman 80th starter set Cheetah. So this is the 106 or 106. It's the 106B dial Cheetah. So she has a special speed power that is the Thrill of Battle. Gives her charge and sidestep with 10 speed, 11 attack, 18 defense, 3 damage. So she has a 7 square reach on her own with that top click. No special attack value, no attack value at all, or no attack power. She has combat reflexes with her 18, giving her a 20 at close, which is still pretty decent. An 18 from range isn't great, but being able to close the gap with that sidestep charge is pretty solid. And then if she does get poisoned or knocked off of that top click, she has 3 clicks of super senses. Her last 3 clicks are blades, with 1 click being charge, 2 being sidestep, and then her very last click is a special stop combat reflexes for 40 points. So I just really like this Cheetah because for 40 points you get a stop click, you get penetrating damage, you get a decent amount of range, to be honest, with sidestep charge and 10 speed. She's not slow by any means. And then you also have the Injustice League team ability, so anytime you're rolling, a 10 through 12, you're removing an action token. Pretty solid stuff. But yeah, that combined with like the sculpt being pretty decent, I wouldn't say it's the best sculpt in the starter, but it's definitely one of the more fun ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I dig it. I can dig it a lot. I think most people just, especially the like Masters of Evil or the little Wonder Woman starter, where it has the simple dials and the slightly better-ish dials. I think most people, since it's not like a Cosmic Clash or whatever style starter, they just sort of just discount and just don't even like look at those dials, because they seem so simple, right?
Earlier, like when Wonder Woman hadn't dropped, I did not at all look at the starter set figures. And then going back through them, there's some real cheap. They almost all have stop clicks for like 30 to 50 points. They almost all have stop clicks. There's some really decent stats and dials. The other version of the Cheetah, for 30 points, also has a stop click, stop with combat reflexes. And then she's just got charge with an 11 for 3 and super senses top dial. So it might even be a better version, to be honest. But there's not that pen damage, and then she doesn't get blades until very late.
It's weird that
I just like
in a starter that's meant for newer people, you would introduce the mechanic stop, which I guess isn't that hard to comprehend, but it's like you're going to use this wording, and then it's like, oh, so I just stopped turning the dial. Like, what does stop mean? And it's like, okay, I stopped turning the dial, but I'm on a click like this. It means I half whatever I heal. Okay, -1. Oh, okay. Like, it just seems like a slightly like another addition of complication to add to a starter, especially for figures that like kind of don't make sense to all have stop clicks. I mean, they did try to use like some nice wording, but it was like, why would all of them need almost all of them need stop clicks? It seems a bit wild.
To me, it just makes
it is what it is.
All other characters way worse for not having stop clicks. 150 point Gorilla Grodd doesn't have any stop clicks. 30 point Cheetah.
Oh, dude, he's so bad. But like all these like 40 point characters with stop clicks, 5 clicks long stop clicks, 40 points, really good. Even like the 3 click long characters that have a stop click for 50 points are really good. Honestly, anything that makes you have to 2-tap a figure under, 75, 60 points, and you have to 2-tap them no matter what, pretty solid. Barry Shazam, stop click, Mystics. Dang, this starter is like, ironically, a little annoying to play against.
No,
but I like the Cheetah. I like also the Cheetah has a double bolt with penetrating. Like 2 bolts with a close penetrating, I also really like on this Cheetah. Like, she's solid. I think the only thing I would change is give her like improved movement, but it's not even that big of a deal since hindering doesn't affect movement anymore. So really, it's not too bad. Like, yeah, no, I dig it. And I could tell how, like, when you would look through this starter, I could see how Cheetah would be the hidden gem of it. Kind of wouldn't look at her. You'd maybe look at someone like the Star Sapphire or the Mary Shazam or something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even like Donna Troy, the one Donna Troy isn't terrible. They're all in their own ways pretty solid. But like Cersei,
Like 30 points for
again,
running shot, impervious, even
yeah,
like in the bad one, quote unquote bad one. Like, what?
right. It's nuts. But yeah, that's
Nice,
what I
man.
consider the hidden gem
So what
of animal.
is your generic gallery? Yeah. What's your team, man?
So I went with a 400 point, almost all Golden Age. I don't think. Yeah, actually, I know for sure this would not qualify for silver. So this is a Golden Age only kind of team. I don't really have any kind of specific way to go through like the team. There's no, like main attack or whatever. But I will go from top to bottom. This is like how I built it, because when I'm building around a theme team, I usually have one character that I just remember very fondly with that keyword. So around the animal keyword, it's always the one that always comes to mind is Red Wolf from Avengers Assemble. This is the guy that had Lobo, the faithful wolf companion, that he could detach from his base. So it's a 3D bystander. He begins with it attached. While Lobo is attached, Red Wolf can use Flurry, give him a free action, remove and place Lobo in an adjacent square. Now, a lot of modern figures that can do this, once that bystander's KO'd, it's just gone. But good old Red Wolf has another trait called Training a New Cub. Give Red Wolf a power action when he has no action tokens and his Lobo has been KO'd. Reattach Lobo to Red Wolf's base. So if he has no action tokens, you give him a power action, as well as Lobo being KO'd. Then you get another one, and then all of a sudden you've got Flurry, and you can free action drop him again. And then he's got the.
Please don't try to pronounce it. Please do not try to pronounce it.
Okay.
It's gonna hurt.
Owayadada. I don't know.
There it is. Of course you did it. Yeah, I don't know
it's
why.
close. I don't know. It seems.
Is
close.
it though?
I have no clue. I don't even know what language it is. But
I think it's Cherokee.
People or pride? Huh.
Oh, you got me. All right. Okay. Yeah. Please move on.
It's such a bad song.
You really got me though. It took a second. Oh, okay. Keep going.
So whatever the word is, came to me is the name of the special defense power he's got for his first 4 clicks. He also has charge for his first 3, super strength for his first 3, and exploit top dial. So he can charge, exploit, flurry if Lobo is on his dial, and then he can detach him, and the little Lobo can also, I believe he's got blades and stuff. Let me double check his dial, because I for some reason did not pull it up here. But yes. He has Lobo the Wolf also has charge blades. So if you didn't get enough charge blades with Red Wolf, then Lobo can add some to your flurry of attacks. So his special defense that he has for his first 4 clicks is combat reflexes and super senses. If he's occupying hindering terrain, he can use willpower, which is great because that means he can de-action himself, and it also means that it's not a weakness like it used to be. It used to be if you wanted to go 2 turns in a row, you'd have to end in hindering terrain. Now it's more of like you can end in it and potentially clear the next turn, but it's not like a requirement thing. Next up, I'm going to skip one on purpose. So I'm going to my Gertrude Yorks and Old Lace from What If. So there is a cheaper one in Secret Wars Battle World, but I really like the What If version, and it's for a very simple reason. I just like the bystander more, and you're only playing this figure because of the bystander. So this figure is 5 clicks long, starts with stealth, super senses, and a special damage power for its first 3 clicks. And that damage power is Gertrude Yorks and Old Lace can use leadership. When they do and succeed, you may instead remove an action token from one friendly character with the Runaways or Young Avengers keyword, regardless of adjacency or point value. Well, adjacency is the only thing that matters after this, because this got changed in 2017, where keyword would have been regardless of point value anyhow. But it does give me just a generic leadership as far as like being adjacency and everyone having animal keyword. It'll work as like a normal leadership would, and then I'll of course have a +1 action total because of it. So other than that, Gertrude Yorks and Old Lace also has the Runaways trait, which is once per turn when Gertrude Yorks and Old Lace attack, if they are adjacent to a friendly character with the Young Avengers or Runaways keyword, they can reroll a 1 on the die of the attack roll. That doesn't ever happen for this figure, it's just a shared trait. But if you're attacking with this figure specifically, something very wrong has happened, because she's got 8s and 7s for attack values. And then the second trait, the one that actually matters, is my parents only left me one thing. At the beginning of the game, place adjacent an Old Lace bystander. When Old Lace would take damage, you may instead deal Gertrude Yorks and Old Lace 1 unavoidable damage. And so with the new rule changes, Old Lace actually got quite a bit better, because now that pushing damage is gone, there's no in-capping. It used to be... So, I guess I'll go over the dial first. So, Old Lace is a 10-speed charge with blades, 11 attack blades, 17 defense with toughness, and then 2 damage with empower. And so, you're always bladesing with Old Lace, but that's fine because it's kind of just an extra character anyhow. But because this character, this bystander, didn't have Indom, if you pushed it, or if you got in-capped when you only had 1 action token and it would have taken pushing damage, under the old rules, you wouldn't be able to transfer the damage to the other character, because unavoidable would happen first. It wouldn't be able to... It's like an immediate action thing, but because pushing damage is all but gone now, this bystander has a lot more longevity, so it's pretty cool. Next up is Fenris Wolf. So this is from the Thor Ragnarok movie. I think Kalder played this against me when he was playing that.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Throwdown. So he can use Blades Claw's Fangs. He's got this bottom dial. He's got Blades Claw's Fangs, and when he uses Blades Claw's Fangs, you increase the result of the D6 roll by the number of growth tokens it has, which is great because by the time you get down there, hopefully you have a lot of growth tokens. And you get those by the Swallow You Whole trait. And this is each time Fenris Wolf KOs an opposing character, after resolutions, give it a growth token. If it has 1 growth token, it has Giant, which is great because then you start rolling a 3 through 6 willpower roll. If it has 2 or more growth tokens, it has Colossal, which is also great because then you have Colossal Reach. And then if you have 3 or more growth tokens, you modify all combat values by +1, which is just good in general. Of course, it doesn't stack. You don't get multiple versions of that +1, but having 12 attack on 12 attacks, 18, 19 defenses, pretty solid. And then Fenris also has a Super Senses Toughness on his first 3 clicks. So he's a little slow, a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But luckily, my next figure helps out with that a lot. So my only modern figure that I'm playing, and I just don't think you can do an animal theme team without him currently. He's just too good. And that's Wonder Woman 060 figure Chip, CHP, the Squirrel Green Lantern. So he's got Green Lantern core. He's got 8 speed with sidestep. He's got TK. Really, his attack values don't matter too much because he's mostly Ataxi, TK, and Prob piece. He's also got Prob top dial. He's got ESD. He has the trait that lets him make a construct, so he can make the baseball glove to give everyone that's adjacent energy shield deflection, which is awesome for every team. Why would you not want that? Especially since my team is so far pretty much all close combat based. Animal tends to be pretty close combat. But yeah, the biggest thing is Green Lantern Corps is going to allow him to carry everybody on this team, at least at first. It's going to allow him to carry them all 10 squares with his 8 speed and sidestep. And that's pretty important. That's really all he does. He does get outwit later on, but without the ability to push the dial on a short dial like this, you're never going to be able to bank on getting to that. It's like the old Green Lantern. It was Green Oracle from Elseworlds. I used to love that piece because you could be prob or outwit, I believe. And without the ability to push, you can't control which one you have anymore, so you're just stuck where you are. Next up is the Civil War, Civil War Organized Play Kit, Tigra. So similar to Cheetah, Tigra is just doing some charge, sidestep kind of stuff. She does start with an 11, 18, 2 with a 9 speed. She has traded Blades, Claws, Fangs. She has a trait called Deep Cover Spy for the other side, and this is one of the... at the beginning of the game, you choose anti-registration or pro-registration, and then once per game, at the beginning of one of your turns, you may choose again, which is great. And then you can use Precision Strike when attacking opposing characters with the most recently chosen keyword, which probably never going to come up for me, to be honest. Those keywords weren't used a lot. And then, last but not least, on her first 3 clicks, she's got a special Cat Senses, which is Super Senses, and when she does, she succeeds on a result of 4 through 6, which I think so far everyone on this team so far, other than my Green Lantern Chip, has started with Super Senses. But yeah, Tigra's just another Blades piece. She also has Empower, so between her and the Old Lace Bystander, that's a +2 to close combat for anyone that's next to both of them. It's actually pretty solid at that point. And then rounding out the team, so that comes to 320 points. So rounding out the team at 80 is from the Guardians of the Galaxy main set, number 052, Rocket Raccoon. And he does one thing that is a really good reason to have him on the team and have Blades and Super Sense rolls. So he's got 6 range, 2 lightning bolts. He's one of my only, other than Chip, he's my only range piece. So he does start with a 9 speed running shot with energy explosion. He has improved targeting, ignores elevated terrain, may make a ranged combat attack against any opposing character within range and line of fire, even if they're adjacent. And after playing against Apollo from Wonder Woman 80, I remember how good ignores elevated is on like an elevated map. Being on a secondary elevation and shooting down when you can't see back up is real good. Then he's got a trait, Groot's My Bud. When Rocket Raccoon is adjacent to a friendly character named Groot, modify their attack values +1 unless already modified by this effect. Well, Groot's not on this team, so I don't get any of that. But on his first 3 clicks, I should also say that he's 17 Super Senses top dial, and then he goes to a 16 and then a 15 running shot, and then sidestep with range combat expert on his sidestep clicks. But the biggest thing, he's tiny sized as well. Biggest thing is his special damage power, which is Tactical Genius Supreme. That's me. Once per turn, when Rocket Raccoon is within range and line of fire of a character for which a roll is made, you may ignore the roll and have it re-rolled.
A roll is made? That's wild.
Yeah, so you have to have this house ruled because this is old wording. This is quite old in Guardians of the Galaxy.
You used to be able to prob any roll, just in case you guys didn't know. You used to be able to reroll regen, super senses, blades. There was literally used to be a conundrum where it was like, I could reroll my attack roll. Oh man, I should just wait to save it for this other guy who has blades so I can reroll my blades. And it's like, if you said that to someone nowadays, you'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? But that's how the game works.
There also used to be a helpful like memory, like mnemonic device, whatever you want to call it. It was your rolls on your turns, their rolls on their turns.
Oh yeah,
that's what you can prob. But yeah, none of that's true. So because it's worded the way it is, because clearly if it was just prob, they would have just given him prob. So it's better than prob.
It is, yeah.
And so if I was judging this, I mean, clearly it's like a casual Golden Age kind of thing, but it's once per turn when he's within range and line of fire, so it's worded just like prob would be. But then it says, a character for which a roll is made, you may ignore the roll and have it re-rolled. I would say any roll, because, like super senses is a roll, blades is a roll, an attack roll is a roll, a breakaway roll. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could do. But yeah, that comboed with all my super senses means I'm getting second chances at some of those. With my blades on my turns, I'm able to, if I roll low on blades, I'm able to try again. So that Rocket Raccoon really brings the team together. Chip is, of course, the taxi that gets all of my close combat up in range, but Rocket Raccoon being able to do that reroll is pretty potent, pretty important as well. The potent, important stuff.
What I think is funny is, I don't know if you know about the storyline or not, but Red Wolf and Tigra, however you want to say it, did team up. They teamed up to fight the Super Skrull of all people. And I had to double check because I wanted to double check. But he's from the Cheyenne tribe. I wasn't close geographically, but CHE they both started with, so I was relatively close word wise. But yeah, William Talltree is from the Cheyenne tribe, but yeah, him and Tigra actually teamed up to beat the Super Skrull, which is funny. So I think it was kind of cool that they ended up both being on your team. So I really like that. I really dig that.
So what is it? Cherokee and Choctaw are the ones from the song. The super. I don't even know who sings it, to be honest.
Oh, Indian Outlaw? Is that what you're thinking of, that song?
I mean, whichever one the guy screams Cherokee people.
Yeah, it's.
Cause I'm an Indian outlaw, half Cherokee and Choctaw. My baby, she's a Chippewa, she's a one of a kind. Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die.
I have no idea.
My baby, she's a Chippewa. Oh, she's a one of a kind. Yeah, those are different songs. Anyways, he's Cheyenne. He's from the Cheyenne Reservation.
We saw.
But yeah, no, I thought it was just cool that they're yeah. No, that's good stuff, dude. I like that. I like that team. Is it 400 even? You said Rocket's 80, right? So it's 400 even.
It comes out to 400.
In that
even.
Rocket,
and also
people
it gives
play him quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, he still gets used because he's still pretty decent, decent values for sure, and that special damage power is pretty solid. But yeah, combining the bystander that Chip can make, giving everyone close to it or adjacent to it ESD, the bystander Red Wolf can make, Lobo, and the bystander that Gertrude Yorks and Old Lace has to make because that's all that figure really does. The team's only, what is it here? 2, 4. It's only 6 figures, but you've actually got, I want to say, 7 solid attackers. So yeah, not too bad.
Dude, right on. So to jump into my team, I'll also start off the way we start off with Simeon's, and that is with my value corner.
Hey, Michael, look at this.
Heroclix.
$8.
That's a good deal.
Figures. So value corner, if you know, it's like a sort of mini Bad Samaritan game. So this dude, special speed power. He's 5 clicks long. No special combat symbols, doesn't need them. No range, doesn't need it. A classic thing to say during value corner. 50 points. Animal, intelligentsia, scientist. And as you guys know, I'm building the 300 quote-unquote competitive team here. Animal, intelligentsia, scientist here. He's got perplex for his first 2 clicks. Last 3 have outwit. Full dial of a 17 super senses, pretty average there. No attack power, first 3 clicks. In cap on the last 2. Full dial of stealth. First 2 clicks, it's phasing, teleport, and stealth, and then it's just 2 clicks of stealth. But here's the cool thing, and Simeon's going to know this figure as soon as I say this, but he has a trait, because this is like 50 points is, it's like, no range, super senses, perplex, 10 attack, 2 damage, like very meh figure. This is the cool thing he does. Into the Cosmic Ray, the bystanders printed on this card are super apes. Free, once per game, generate all super ape bystanders. So free, at any point in the game, you just drop 3 apes on a fool, all right? So what do the apes do? We got Ior, 4 range, tiny size, 18 defense, super senses, 2 damage, shape change, 9 speed, leap climb, 9 attack, nothing. So we got a 9 for 2, 4 range. Good tie-up piece here, though. Sadly a tiny guy, but still shape change, super senses. I dig it. Next up, we got Miklo. 6 range. This is our sort of ranged-based fella. 11 attack, 2 damage, but got the TK Force Blast toughness going on here. And then we got Piotr, or Peter, whatever. This is our bruiser of the apes, right? 10 speed, 10 attack, 16 defense, 3 damage. We got charge, super strength, invulnerability. All right. So this is our heavier hitter. I just like that it's boom, free, apes in your face, ape escape. What are you gonna do? Gonna catch those apes? You can try. So what do you think? You get not only do you just get a perplexer and then later an outwitter on your team, which is pretty solid. Stealth, block lines of fire, whatever, super senses. And then you get these apes, and he's a rare. He's a rare from kind of a recent set. Simeon, what do you think that old Cool Stuff Inc.'s got this guy going for? The old red ghost here.
The old Santa Claus with a sack full of monkeys.
Also, yeah, that's the best part is you can use him as Santa Claus for your Christmas themed holiday games.
I mean,
be like, what's your present? It's monkeys. Again? Yes, again.
I want to say because he hasn't made a big impact and people are probably undervalued. I don't know. I want to say that like he's probably undervalued. He's probably $2.
You're pretty close. Yeah, he's rocking about $1.50 right now. And you're right. There's plenty to buy. There's 12 of him on Cool Stuff that you can pick up. So for $1.50, I think he's fun. I just think he's kind of a neat figure to like play. Like, boom, here's the ape. So that's 50 points in my 300 point build. And so far, people are like, "Is this competitive 300 point build?" Yikes.
But it's a real.
We're sort of doing a little bit.
You can combo him on an animal theme team with Stegron from Earth X. Make 3 dinosaurs and 3 monkeys. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, to be honest with you, if Stegron had free make all the dinosaurs as opposed to them just starting, Stegron would be like 1,000 times better. Oh, yeah. Honestly. Yeah, instead of having to like slowly get the dinosaurs up. That's what I like about this dude. Is he's just like monkeys. So that is 50 points. Let me tell you about the other 40 points here. Lockjaw, pretty simple. This is the ABPI Lockjaw. So I believe everything in this team is going to still be modern after rotation. Yes. So this Lockjaw, the reason I chose him over Chip is because he got me an extra 2 squares, pretty much, right? I only needed to carry 4 people, so I was like, that's fine. So yeah, Lockjaw, when he carries people, as long as they share a keyword, you're good. But if they don't all share a keyword, he's dealt like 1 unavoidable damage. Doesn't matter. Lockjaw is 6 clicks long. He has a stop click, and when this stop click appears, you get to place him 5 squares away from his current square. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, and then you can place him at all the friendly characters that were next to him. So he's shape change, toughness. He's got 12 speed with phasing, plasticity, and he carries 4 people. 40-point Lockjaw. I think for just 5 more points than Chip, he fits the role that I want him to fit slightly more, right? So we have Lockjaw, and then we have the other 2 dudes that are going to be making bystanders and hitting, and that is double Maggot on this team. Maggot makes the eeny meeny bystanders. Maggot himself, 9 speed sidestep, 18 defense, super senses, 3 damage prob. So that means we have 2 probs in the form of maggot on the team. Eenie is a charge with exploit weakness bystander, and then Meanie is a charge with poison bystander. So I believe he generates them. So if you are next to somebody, you can go ahead and poison them right away, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Or
generates them for free, and
you can do the exploit with the suite.
Both are free.
Yes, so that's another big
different
thing,
free
right?
actions. So that's the big thing is it's different ones, so you can do both in the same turn.
Yeah, so that way there's no worry about Colossal Retaliation. They can swing on somebody, hit him, and then he can just be like, I think he eats them, right? Does he eat them and spit them out at the same time? Is that what he does?
I think
I don't know if that's actually how it works.
But they're like his digestive system. So he doesn't like chew them, but they're like his living digestive system. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So we got 2 maggots. So now Lockjaw is going to pick up maggot, and then full send, right? He picks up maggot, and he picks up the red ghost. The mega bystanders are autonomous. So it's going to take 1 action to get Lockjaw out there. And then we have 3 actions left because we do have leadership on the team. So that means all the monkeys can do something, and then all the maggot bystanders can do something. We can get off 5 attacks in 1 turn, which is really, really solid. What is the range on that? Glad you asked. So these Red Ghost says you just generate them, so they all have to be next to Red Ghost. Lockjaw has a 12 speed. We're going to say we perplex up the speed on Lockjaw once with Red Ghost, depending on where we're at, if we need the range, right? So it's 12. We start in the second square, so we move out 13 squares, face the teleport. We place the maggots in the 14th square. Same thing with Red Ghost in the 14th square. Maggots can sidestep to the 16th square and then place an Eenie or Meanie in the 17th square, which can charge, if we so choose, to the 21st square. So that would be our like max reach, right? So almost full board reach, which is really, really, really nice. Red Ghost, if we waste a TK on either a maggot or on a pog with whatever, one of the apes, then we can get full map reach with at least 1 attack, which is really cool. So there's that. So we can have full map reach with the TK pog, which is kind of the reason I also like him. So yes, that's the main bulk of the team. So that's only 170 points of the team, which means we get a lot of like wacky stuff to fill out with. For 10 points, I had where is it? Yeah. For 10 points, we had for 20 points. No, sorry. For 20 points, you can do either 2 moloids or 2. No, sorry. Moloid is not an animal, so you can't do a moloid. Gorilla Grods. You can choose to either have 2 Gorilla Grods for Empower, right? So then you can be like, if we don't need Red Ghost, we can keep them back, and then we can just let the Eenie Meenie bystanders go nuts, or we can once again just take one of those for 1 Empower and then keep 1 back, because we might want to keep an Empower back. Spoiler alert. It's an animal team. Anyways, next up we have the High Evolutionary. He's pretty simple. You make animal a named keyword, but it's been changed to where now you get double the theme probs. So now you get 6 theme probs. So now we have
pretty big.
2 probs with the maggots, and then 6. Yeah, now we have 6 theme team probs with animal, which is amazing. So that's what High Evo does. He also gives us leadership, and when he does, he can remove an action token from another friendly character within range, so within 6 range, and the animal keyword, which is nice. So it's really cool. Next up, we have the Ultra Humanite. He's just another TK piece, but he also has sidestep mind control. And when he uses mind control, he ignores elevated, hindering, blocking, and characters, which is really, really awesome with an 8 range. So I really dig the Ultra Humanite for that, for just being a very simple 25-point animal figure, right? Next up, Ultra Humanite Regulus. We totally went super out of order. Oh, yeah. That means if for those counting at home, we have quite a few points left. Next up is the Living Spirits will guide us. Pretty simple. It lets a character, if you are in hindering or obscuring terrain on the map, you can reroll your super senses roll. If it's an animal theme team, characters that have super senses have protected outwit for their super senses have protected outwit. So that's Maggots got protected outwit super senses. That is Red Ghost. His full dial of super senses is protected outwit. And then High Evolutionary has a stop click, which is already protected outwit, but that does also give him super senses. So it gives us a little bit there, which is really sweet. To round out the last 60 points of the build, we have 4 Wendigos because I couldn't think of anything else.
Nice.
For those that think 4 Wendigos is a bit unnecessary, here's what I like about this. It'll expand the starting area with 4 of them. Depends on what map. I think EarthX Wakanda it will expand the starting area though. I'm genuinely I believe it will. I could be wrong.
I want to say that's
I don't have it in front of me.
That's a corner one.
I think it's one of the smaller starting areas, right? Because it's got the big blocking in the corner. So I feel like EarthX Wakanda is getting expanded. But besides that, besides potentially giving us more reach, Wendigos, I think they work best in 3s, and then I couldn't figure out what to do with the last 15 points. So, and by the way, if you want to get rid of the 2 Gorilla Grodd chases for the Empower, you can instead tack on a Minotaur. This could be fun if you need to get rid of some barrier. So you can Ultra Humanite, TK, Minotaur, and then he can move around to like destroy barrier. That's like another choice on this team if you want to use that instead of like double chases. Like I understand, but to go with the Wendigos, I think they work best in 3s because there's a lot of double bolt pen blast. I don't think there's a ton of triple bolt pen blast in modern right now. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
I mean, it used to be
you want at least
Prime Professor X on an ID.
Yeah, Brood Xavier. Yeah. So I think you want at least 3. 2 die, 1 can do something else, right? And then 4 is just like icing because I couldn't think of what else to do. But Wendigos are just really, really good, and you want them to pop off. And a lot of the time, they only have a 17 with invulnerability, and people will focus them because they know once a Wendigo gets out of control. So that's why we want the team to be an Alpha Strike, boom, gets in your face as soon as it can, right? And then we just let our Wendigos, hopefully something should get a wounded token, right? So they should be able to sidestep up that same turn, They can start doing some damage. I honestly think it might need a little more fine tuning and everything, but this is a not terrible like 300 modern team. I think it could actually hold up a few games in the 300 like modern spectrum. Ultra Humanite doesn't totally have a purpose. That's just like another like 25 point solid animal I threw on for TK. So I'm sure there's like better refining we could do, but I think for a team I made, like right before the show, I really dig it as a team.
Yeah, I love drop-off teams.
Simeon,
where you can just you can move all the way up and yet still make attacks, and it's not like busted. It's not. It's not the Sam Cap dropping in, calling in my best ID kind of thing, but there is a lot of potential with. 2 sets of eeny meenies, whichever ones, and then also the super apes. There's a lot of potential in that. I don't know. I kind of want to try this in like a 400 setting. How much is Red Ghost?
He's 50, and then Maggot's 40.
I kind of want to play.
Yeah, Red Ghost is 50.
7 Red Ghosts and then Chip. And just move across the map and make an endless swarm of super apes in one turn.
Yeah, it's ape time.
They're not autonomous, so the apes can't all do stuff. But...
See, that is the one bad thing about the apes as well, which is why I was like, well, I want to have more attacks, but I can't put on another Red Ghost because then they won't be able to do anything. So I was like, yeah, Eeny and Meeny are autonomous, which makes them just so much better. But yeah, like I just think it's funny. Because boom, now we've made all these pogs. To be fair, Red Ghost can only make them once, and that is really rough for Red Ghost and Maggot being able to absorb. And clearly Maggot is better. Maggot is way better at this job than Red Ghost is. Yeah,
the only time
I just like the idea of him just swapping them all out.
The only time Maggot's gonna lose a bystander is if you have to like stretch and you move one too far away from him where he can't reabsorb it.
Yeah, if you
or if it crit misses,
I think if you charge for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be worth risking, but probably not, and not in competitive at least.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty fun team to run guys. So we got like double empower, one empower can go to the front. So the maggot bystanders are hitting for 3 damage. The one dude is hitting for 4 damage, Peter or whatever. So honestly, wish it had a little bit of enhancement just for those ranged apes to be able to hit a little harder. But I think this is a really fun team. And it's a lot of different little dials to chew through, which can be really annoying. And then I think the protected outwit on super senses doesn't super help it against a Secret Six team because they'll get around protected outwit, sadly. But I think it's also just huge, a big help. Being able to reroll your senses and having it be protected outwit is really big. So I think this is a fun team. I think it's as competitive as you can make an animal team. I think it does need some fine tuning, but let me know if you guys decide to run a team like this or anything. But yeah, that is generic gallery. We don't have anything else in the show, so I'm pretty excited. There was not a lot going on this week. A little bit of a break week. I think Scott Porter is going to be unboxing here in this next week some Rise and Fall, which is kind of cool. I'm not excited for Rise and Fall, but it'll be fun to see it. You love to see it. Hate to play it, but love to see it. I just want to see it fall. But yeah, man. That was a good show. I'm checking for a Jedi Legend here who's tip of the week. We do not have one, so instead, allow me to do Padawan Calder's tip of the week.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat,
young Calder Ness.
Sith Sexy Ranch Hand, tip of the week. Something like that. I don't know, man. In the comprehensive rule book, placing goes as follows. Your opponents will completely place their characters and that objects, and then you will place. And by opponent, I mean the person that won the roll off. So as opposed to you win the roll, place your figures, they place their figures, you place your objects, they place their objects. It is instead the person that goes first, they pick the person that goes first chooses map. You get to pick the side if you're going second. And the person that goes first places all of their figures and all their objects. Then you place all of your figures and all your objects. Pretty simple. But it was a change that some people may not have noticed for how placing things in the starting area used to work. And of course, if the second player would then expand the starting area, the opponent is then allowed to rearrange anything. Because if they went first, they get then, it wouldn't be fair to let them not use the expanded starting area. So if your second player expands the starting area, then the first player is then allowed to reshuffle the things in their starting area. Pretty simple tip. Hope you guys enjoy it.
I've got
in case you were wondering,
you can download
you got a tip? All right.
The comprehensive rules and use Control F to search keywords and phrases. So if you're on HC Realms and you're like, man, mission points are dumb, you don't get any points when you win. You can just Control F and look up how point scoring works when you beat an opponent, and it'll tell you, and then you just don't have to complain on HC Realms anymore if you learn this simple trick.
So that was your Sith Simeon tip of the week and your Clone Trooper Calder tip of the week right there.
Roger.
All right, guys. Dude, that's a droid. Once again, here you are. Freaking Clankas, man.
Okay.
No, not a Sith. That's a droid. That's a droid. The Sith are allied with the Federation that use droids as their soldiers. I believe that Star Wars lore is somewhat correct. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you let us know. Write a review on Podbean, Spotify, or iTunes, wherever our show is found. If you have other players in your area or, friends you think would also enjoy listening to the show, tell them. Word of mouth is huge. Reviews are huge to getting the show for more people to see it. If you guys ever want to check out our YouTube channel, we talk about it a lot on the show. If you're ever curious, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have tons of fun videos. Honestly, take a look at our backlog. A lot of the videos we've made in the past, oh geez, it's May, goodness gracious, a year, I guess, are really, really funny. Really, some of our best stuff has come out in the last year. I would say, even though our most watched video is Mage Knight unboxing starter set or whatever,
right?
We didn't make that; someone else did.
2014,
but yeah, like I think the funniest and dare I say, some of the most unique Heroclix content exists in Simeon and I in our Heroclix Hot Ones, eating hot wings between every round of Heroclix, and then our Extreme Rules, where we do all these weird challenges with physical punishments and things throughout, like mixed in while playing a game of Heroclix, as well as even some of the more tame ones that might just look like unboxings or something, have some pretty funny openings that I have a lot of fun filming. And of course, all the fun skits, impressions, pitch meetings, and whatnot is on the YouTube channel. And also, if you're a creative-minded person, we have Sculpt Swap. That's for you. Simeon is painting D&D miniatures, a WizKids product, and then putting them on a WizKids product, a Heroclix dial. So if you ever thought like, oh, play some D&D, because I know people have done the reverse. People have been like, oh, what's a good whatever Marvel like Asgardian or something that I can use for like a D&D character? And instead, Simeon's like, you know what? Nah. What's a D&D character I can use for a Heroclix figure? So it's really fun. We were talking about the time-lapse stuff earlier. Simeon does a really cool time-lapse where he's like painting the figure. It's really cool to see the process and see it come together. So we have all sorts of really fun, unique, different stuff on our YouTube channel, guys. So definitely check that out. Like I said at the top of the show, if you want to support us, check out our Patreon, link in the description below. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't need to plug too many things too crazy.
Yeah, plugging things is my job. Like this. Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com. Jeez, how do you not know that? You should go to CoolStuffInc.com, find cool stuff in stock every day. They've got latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Why aren't you doing that? Man, can't believe you people. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Happy trails.
So if you're looking for emotional satisfaction, my advice to you is seek professional
Heroclix.
help.
Are you serious? Again? How many people even play this game? Like 100?
Instant deadpan humor.
Over 6 people think I am funny.
It's a hard day's work. Not that you know anything about that. Which
Absolute fools, it's not.
Witcher nonsense. I'm gonna make Heroclix like that forever. Are you kidding me?
Hey Google, attack someone.
Let's attack Simeon because he's a jerk.
Wow, wow, wow.
I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it.
Dude.